Good evening and welcome out everyone to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. Going to take you through the tackle trading website, show you around a little bit, tell you about what we got, when we got it, where you can find it, all of that fun stuff. So we'll get ready to dive right in. Very quickly before we do, I would take just a moment here and highlight a couple of podcasts you might find interesting. Our friends over at tradingjustice.com each week do the TJ podcast. Great listen, a lot of fun, pretty good time as well. You can catch the Trading Justice podcast on any of your major providers. You can also listen to it directly at tradingjustice.com as well. There is a link in the Trade Center, which is the page I'm on right now. You will find a link to Trading Justice if you're at Tackle Trading, but once again, that is just tradingjustice.com each week for the TJ podcast. There's also a really, really nice monthly newsletter over at Trading Justice that I think you'll enjoy as well. And then you will also find the Huddle podcast each market day. You'll find the link just at the top menu bar at Tackle Trading. At the end of the trading day, the Huddle is just a quick podcast, just talk about the top 5 stories of the day, get you quickly caught up with the day that was in the market, quick and to the point. So the Trading Justice podcast is once a week, and the Huddle podcast is each day after the market closes. Definitely good additions to your daily or weekly routine. With that said, let's talk a little tackle trading. At the end of it all, at least in my opinion, tackle trading is just a place where a group of traders have come together to help one another out, to share ideas, to share setups, to answer questions, to be there for one another, right? To share watch lists, all sorts of fun stuff, and that's really what tackle trading is to me, at least. When I'm explaining it to people, I like to break it down into 3 different areas. Number one, the things that you can do on your own. That's going to be, stuff like courses, our blog, some of the tools that we'll go over here in the Trade Center, our tackle trading playbook. So things that you can kind of do on your own at your own speed and on your own time frame. Then things that you can do with others. That's going to be the weekly schedule, right? What are we doing on Mondays? What are we doing on Tuesdays? What are we doing on Wednesdays, etc. And then lastly, our weekend scouting reports at the end of the week. As coaches, we all come together, put together a game plan and a watch list going into the upcoming week. We call those our scouting reports up here in the reports tab. So we'll kind of come at tackle trading from those three buckets, if you will, here tonight. Hopefully it'll give you a better understanding of who we are and what we're doing, as well as when we're actually doing it. So with that, no further ado, let's dive in, talk about that first area, the things that you can do on your own. And for me, the first thing that comes to my mind is our courses. We do have several courses available to all of our pro members. Our 7-step guide to trading is a great introduction. If you are, a newer trader, it can really be very helpful in helping you put together a little bit of a rhythm and a routine. In a lot of ways, it's kind of a welcome to the tackle trading approach to the markets. While no 2 traders are exactly the same, I think those of us here at Tackle Trading do have, share some core beliefs, as far as, starting at the top of the market, working that top-down approach from the indexes into the sectors and industries into the individual stocks, matching our strategies to our read of that situation and the goals within our portfolio. We're watch list traders. So how do we find and analyze our potential trading opportunities and get those plans? So if we get what we need to see happen, we're ready to take action. Of course, we place and manage the trade as well as journal it. So it will really kind of take you through the tackle trading approach to the markets. If you're a veteran trader, it'll probably be a good review. You might get a couple of things in that you can make your personal daily routine a little smoother. If you're a newer trader, it can be a really good starting point. So I would definitely take some time to check out the 7-step guide to trading. We have an introduction to technical analysis 101. Of course, as traders, charting is very important to us, and that's true whether we're day trading currency, whether we're swing trading Microsoft, where we're cash flow trading, whatever kind of trader we are going to be using technical analysis, of course. And so Tech 101 is just going to be charts, and more charts, helping you get a better understanding of those technicals. Great review if you've been at this for a while. As well as I do, no one's ever reached the never wrong on their evaluation of charts, right? But we can all strive to be the best that we possibly can If you are a newbie trader, if you're new to trading, that is the skill set that you definitely want to be working starting day one. The better you are with those charts, I think the better everything else is going to be for you as well. Definitely would encourage you to check out Technical Analysis 101. Options 101 is going to really focus on what happens when you buy or sell that contract. So we're not going to go in great detail of the different strategies. We'll do that in our playbook, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But we're really going to talk about what happens when you buy that call option. What happens when you sell that put option? How is the price of that contract changing, and why is it doing so? The more we truly understand the contract and the factors that are making it change in value, I think the easier any of those strategies is going to be for us. So Options 101 is really a great place to start for any option trader. In my estimation, we really do need to understand those contracts. If you've ever been interested in learning more about the futures of the Forex markets, but not really known exactly where to start, we do have introductions to those markets as well. If that's something that is interesting to you, or if you want to take a closer look to see if it's a market worth pursuing, it's fine either way. I mean, the great thing about trading is we can trade exactly what we want and pass on the rest. But I never want anyone to feel like they can't trade Forex because it's too big for them, or they just don't know where to start or anything like that. So really great way to kind of see if those markets are something you'd like to pursue a little bit further. No matter what you're trading, we do need to have clear systems and rules in place. I think we all are on the same page as far as that goes, but for some of us, it's much easier said than done. And system development is really designed to help train you to approach your trading as a business from a systematic perspective. It is a fantastic course. I don't care if you're a brand new trader, a grizzled veteran, you like options, you like crypto, you like day trading, whatever it is that you like and whatever your experience level is, I would certainly encourage you to make some time to go through the System Development 101 course. I think you will get a lot out of it. We also have a handful of premium systems, as you can kind of see here. These are one-time purchases. The system is yours for life. And then once a month, we get together with members of that team in a mastermind group. Just to quickly give you some information, if you'd like a little bit more information on any of them, you can head over to the store tab, or feel free to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com and be happy to get you some more information. But the Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system on a select group of stocks that we put together each year with the intent of cash flowing them through covered calls. Our STEP system is our swing trading system, that stands for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow condors is another cash flow system, this time on the Russell using credit spreads. And bear market survival guide is protecting ourselves from bearish turns in the market, as well as managing bearish market conditions when applicable, right? So all of these, again, are kind of a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life, and we do meet up together with members of those teams each month in a mastermind group. Again, if you want a little more detail or information, feel free to head over to the store tab or drop us an email and be happy to get that for you. In addition to our courses, we do regular blog content, whether it's more charting over in Tales of Technician, taking concepts kind of from the ground up with Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner, more in the options world with Coach Ty over at the Options Theory blog, hearing from our awesome female traders in the Women in Trading blog. These will be relatively short reads, probably depending on you, but 5-minute type of reads. But just another great way to share ideas with the team, discuss topics with the team throughout the weeks. Definitely would encourage you to work them into your daily or your weekly routine. I think you will enjoy those that blog content. Over in the Trade Center, you'll find a link to our trading journals. You'll find a link to our trading glossary. We'll come back to the events calendar probably before we're done here, but this is where you will also find the Tackle Trading Playbook. And this is where we're going to have all of our strategies, as well as the rules for those strategies. We break our strategies into 3 core areas based on the option Greeks: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Our Delta playbook is our directional playbook. What I think, most of us, certainly at least me, first thought when they thought about trading is you buy for 25 and sell for 28, right? You buy at 19 and sell at 20, right? So movement-based trading. So that's going to include, buying or selling stock. That's going to be buying call or put options, debit spreads, things that I expect the stock to go from here to there. I expect movement. Those are the type of strategies you'll find in the Delta playbook, D for direction. Then you got the Theta playbook. This is our cash flow. This is where we're selling those options and bringing in that premium. That'll be things like our covered calls and our naked puts and our credit spreads and our iron condors, right? So, cash flow type of strategies over in the Theta playbook. So, T for time. And then lastly, the Vega playbook or volatility playbook. These are our bidirectional trades based off of what our expectations are of the volatility of the stock, not the direction of the stock. So we're not too far away from yet another earnings season. We're probably going to see some pretty crazy moves, both to the upside and the downside, as these companies report their earnings and exceed expectations or miss them, miserably. Maybe based off of a certain company's, history, I might have a reason to believe it is going to move a lot one way or the other because it usually does on earnings. But there's no way I can know which way it's going to be this time around. Well, hey, I'll just build a trade that pays me as long as it moves a lot either way, right? So these are where we're trading into the volatility of the stock. Vega Playbook, V for volatility. In all of these, you will find a video in which we will, go over, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, what our rules for the strategy are as far as, how much, delta are we buying or selling, how much time are we buying or selling, et cetera, to give a thorough idea of what our rules for that strategy are. There will be a walkthrough on the Thinkorswim platform to kind of walk you through how to do it if you need some help from that point of view. There is also a little downloadable PDF so you can have easy access to those rules whenever you need them. You will also notice that in all of these strategies, we have some anywhere from a 0 to a plus or a -3. And this is just kind of how we view these strategies as far as, on the spectrum of neutral to aggressive, right? So 0 being flat neutral on the stock, plus or -1 being slightly bullish or slightly bearish, 2 or -2 being just traditionally normal or moderately bullish or bearish, and then 3 or -3 being very bullish or bearish. Again, we always want to match the strategy to the situation. So if I think company XYZ is going to slowly grind its way up over the fourth quarter, I probably don't want to, buy something like a call option that's, pretty aggressive because I'm going to have to experience a lot of time decay. I might want to pick a strategy that's more in line with how I view company, XYZ over the course of the next swing or the quarter, whatever the case might be. So we always want to match the strategy to the situation. And this is where we've kind of put where, hey, this is how we see this strategy where it fits along that spectrum. So that is the tackle trading playbook. Again, you'll find that over in the Trade Center. If you go into the Trade Center itself, in here you will find a what's up page at Tackle Trading, what's our next show, our most recent post, our most recent report, most recent tweet. There is a watch list that you can build out for yourself in here if you would like to as well. You would just throw your symbol in, say you wanted to add, B&G Foods to your watch list. I'm just going to type the symbol in there. And now I'm just going to, now I'm just going to go hit that little plus button and I've got them in my watch list. If I decide I don't need Johnson & Johnson in my watch list anymore, I'm just going to select them. I'll hit that little minus button and they are gone. I mean, I would assume that you're probably, doing most of your watch list management in your trading platform, but in my opinion, it's really nice to have just an easy, accessible web page to come in. So I don't always have to log into the broker or anything like that. But to each their own on that. But that is how you will use that watch list if you would like to do so. There will be either a replay or a live showing of one of our YouTube webinars. Typically, it'll be the halftime report because that's the one we're doing each market day. There we are right now, it looks like, here on YouTube. So it'll just be a replay or a live showing of our YouTube webinars, a little mini calendar, what's the next couple of days looking like here at Tackle Trading. If you're in the middle of any courses, it'll let you know exactly where you left off so you can pick right back up where you started and without wasting any time, pausing or rewinding and going forward. Where exactly did I leave off? So just to save you some time on that side of things. Again, there is the link to tradingjustice.com in here as well. There's also going to be some different trader tools in here that we think are useful in regards to a daily or weekly routine over in the market skyline. This is just, we're going to have all of the charts for all of the big stuff on one page. So we're going to have our index charts, right? Our futures on the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the RUD. We're going to have Bitcoin. We're going to have the major commodities, gold, silver, copper, crude, right? Natural gas, the sector spider ETFs. So just, these are all important things as we're going through our daily routine, and a big part of kind of that top-down analysis, that starting at the top of the market. Again, it doesn't have to be here, but we did want to have an easy place that we could just pop in and quickly take a look at the day that was, what areas were moving, what areas were, struggling, what areas were really boring and not doing a whole heck of a lot today. So just kind of all of the big stuff on one page. There's also a link to a FinViz heat map here. This will just take you to finviz.com, where you can just get that visual. Hey, what did today look like in the S&P 500? That is the default setting here. What areas were strong? Well, we saw a lot of positive movement in the energy sector, right? That definitely was probably the biggest winner of the day. But some of our chemical stocks had a nice day. A lot of our financial stocks had a nice day. Whereas, a lot of our healthcare stocks, not so much, right? So it's just a visual representation of, hey, what stood out here today? And while the default setting is the S&P 500 for one day, there is some customization in here. We can kind of see, hey, who's been strong or weak over the course of the month, right? Or the quarter, or whatever the case might be. There are certain fundamental ratios that we can take a look at, how it performed on its earnings date, et cetera. So there's a little bit of customization in there, but it's just nice to get that quick visual. Hey, what areas stood out to you here today? So that's just that little open heat map link right there. There is also a news aggregator in here that's going to go through some of these bigger financial sites. You're going to find Market Watch, CNBC, the Times, the Wall Street Journal, and it's just going to go through these big financial websites. We're going to snag some of the headlines, so I can just easily, instead of having to bounce around, click after click after click, I can just kind of scroll down, see if there's anything that catches my attention, want to read a little more into it, just again, to really save us some time on the back and forth and, clicking all sorts of pages to gather up our news. There's a link to the economic calendar, so we can see what's on the docket for today or for the week. Another link to our market reports, a link to our trade journals. If we come to the trade journals here, again, you can get them downloaded just on the drop down. Let's see, this wants to go kind of slow. There we go. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. You can find the actual trade journals on the drop down of the Trade Center, but here there will be a video tutorial walking you through how to use that trade journal if you need a little bit of help. Nothing wrong with that. It can be helpful to kind of get some, get somebody walking you through. I know it was for me personally. So you'll find that over here in the trade journals. Link to the compounding gains calculator, another link to a chart if you ever need one, another link to our trading glossary, as well as our search function. Again, our glossary you can find in the Trade Center, and our search function is this little magnifying glass over here as well. And the search function is pretty smart. So if you're ever, looking for, more information on, say, covered calls, right? Maybe that's an interesting subject for you. Just throw it in there, come down and tell it to show you all results. And for some reason, my internet's being kind of slow today. It'll just bring us up, all sorts of stuff. Blog topics will be in there. Coaches shows will be in there. Cash flow clubs will be in there, right? Tackle today. So very easy to find a lot of information on a subject. It's a great place to start. Never hesitate to send us an email if you're looking for something that can't find it. But a lot of times, just a quick search can get you a lot of information. With that said, let's kind of jump into that second area, and that's the schedule and what we're doing each day. Let's start with our daily schedule. Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we host our Traders Lounge. For an hour, we get together with the team in a Zoom meeting and just answer their questions. Whether it's a question on a particular strategy, a particular setup, watch list management, daily routine, portfolio design, indicators. I mean, there's a million things that we could have questions on in trading, right? And it's important to us that we have a place where we can get together with the team and answer their personal questions. You're always welcome. There's nothing too basic, nothing too advanced in there. You're always welcome to bring your questions. We're all on the same team here. No one's going to judge your question. If you ever need some help, it's a great place to go. That's every market morning. So pretty much Monday through Friday, minus the holidays, right? At 11 a.m. Eastern. We're not going to regularly record the lounge, but we are going to regularly record snippets of the lounge. And so, for example, today, Coach Ty, built a broken wing butterfly. That'll be just as useful next week, next month, next year as it was today, right? Sure, the example would change, probably wouldn't be that same stock anymore, but how we would do it would be the same. So it's not a huge deal for us to, hit the record button and get the snippet there. I mean, let's be honest, no one's going to go and watch one from a year ago, right? Just coldly go watch, September 27th, 2020's, Traders Lounge. But we will regularly record snippets that we think our community will find useful indefinitely. If your schedule is such that you just can never make it, maybe you're at work, every weekday morning at 11 Eastern, but you really have a question and it'd be helpful to get an answer, just drop us a line. We'll always do our best to accommodate you. It's not a huge deal to hit that record button or anything like that, and get a snippet for you to hopefully give you some help when you come home from work or whatever. So never hesitate to reach out from that point of view. Shortly after our lounge, we're going to head over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 Eastern for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live looking on the market, talk about what's going on in the market today, how is it impacting our charts, work through that top-down approach, right? Talk indexes, talk sectors, talk stocks in the news, talk all of the major products like gold and oil and Bitcoin and things like that as we go through that daily routine with members of our team. That's live every market day over on YouTube, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, being a YouTube thing, once the stream is over, it will automatically pop over to our page. So every market day, we will be meeting with the team over here at Tackle Trading at 11 in the lounge, and then over on YouTube at 12:30 for the halftime report. Then we're going to have our evening schedule. On Monday nights, we do our onboarding webinar, just walking anybody who's new to tackle trading, taking them through the site a little bit like we're doing here tonight, showing them around, hopefully getting them to feel a little bit more comfortable with us, as well as maybe folks who are just looking into us for maybe the first time, give them a little idea of what we're about as well. So we do that on Monday nights at 7 Eastern. No two are tremendously different from one another, but you're always welcome if you think it would be helpful to go through the process again, of course. On Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do what I would consider our flagship show, and that's our coaches show. Again, that's Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. This one is live and also recorded and archived. So if you can't make it to the webinar, you can catch it at a more convenient time. It's Tuesday night. We're a couple days into the trading week. We've got a little more, some new information to work with, so we can, update the team on what we're seeing, what areas are standing out from either a bullish or a bearish point of view. What I really love about the Coaches Show is it allows us to take one of the many concepts, and there's a lot of things that we can talk about in trading, right? And the Coaches Show allows us to take a topic and really have a really in-depth discussion on it. We'll always keep it, in line with what's going on in the market, right? And so, if the market's breaking, into all-time highs, we probably aren't going to be talking about trading bearish retracements that day, right? But if we're seeing bearish retracements in the market, that might be what we're talking about, right? We might be talking about certain patterns, certain indicators, strategy, right? Watch lists. I mean, lots of things that we can talk about. Definitely would encourage everyone to incorporating the Coaches Show into their weekly routine. There's definitely a lot to learn in there. Again, that's Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our Cash Flow Club. This is going to be a little bit more narrowly focused on building and managing those cash flow option strategies, right? That's going to be our covered calls, our credit spreads, our condors, et cetera. Both building and managing those trades. Just like the Coaches Show, it is recorded and archived. So if you can't make it live, it will be easy to catch up at a more convenient time for you. We love to have you live, but we understand schedule is schedule and life is life, right? So again, there's lots of archives in there. So if you're looking for some, particular, discussion on certain things, whether it's certain strategies or whatever, good chance that you'll be able to find it in the archives of the Coaches Show or the Cash Flow Club. So again, Cash Flow Club is Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday nights, we do a twofer, I guess, over here on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern. And for this, I'm going to come back over into the events calendar. Over on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern, we do our Trade Masters webinar, where a couple of the coaches will come together with some trade ideas to bounce off one another, and members of the team And at the end, somebody's declared the trade master for the week. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to be able to share ideas with one another and with the team, walking through the process of finding and prepping trades. That's Wednesday night, 7 Eastern, right here on our YouTube channel. Shortly after that, at 8:30 Eastern, we're going to head over to our nightly lounge, our Wednesday night lounge, where we can discuss in further detail any questions that folks might be have on anything that we looked at over in our Trade Masters webinar, as well as answer any general questions that our team members might have as well. Maybe you just can't make it to that morning lounge during the week, but maybe you can come in on a Wednesday night and get your questions answered. So we are kind of doing a twofer here on Wednesday nights. Again, 7 Eastern on YouTube, Trade Masters webinar, 8:30 Eastern back at Tackle, our nightly Wednesday night lounge. So that is going to be what the schedule looks like. Oversimplified, probably, but an easy way to think about it is the lounge is for Q&A. The halftime report is for daily routine, and the evening shows are for teaching. And while, of course, that is definitely an oversimplification, there will be, crossover in all of them. That might be a way to kind of keep everything organized in the short term as you get to know us a little bit better. So that's going to be what that daily schedule and the weekly schedule looks like. You will also notice here in the events calendar, there are what we call our trading labs. Our trading labs, we have 3 different trading labs with Coach Emily, Coach Mark, and Coach Tyler. They each run a trading lab. They'll get together each week with their team. They also stay connected with one another throughout the week in a private Discord channel. If you'd like a little more information on those, any or all of those trading labs, you can find that over in the store tab. They're relatively new here to Tackle Trading, only been going a couple of months, but heard some really great feedback. They are a subscription product. We also have our Women in Trading mastermind group. They get together about once a month. It tends to be towards the end of the month. I never get to go, right? But that's okay. Towards the end of the month, it usually, it seems, at least Coach M and the other awesome ladies of Tackle Trading get together in their Women in Trading mastermind group. I don't know exactly what they do, but I do know them, and I have no doubt in my mind that they're getting a lot of good work done and having a lot of fun doing it. So if you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, be on the lookout. We'll make sure that we promote it as the event approaches, but definitely would connect with the awesome ladies of Tackle Trading if you are a woman in trading. And sorry, fellas, like myself, you'll have to find something else to do that day. But that's okay. Now let's move on to that last area, and that's our weekend reports. At the end of the week on Fridays, as the market's wrapping up and going well after the close, as a group of coaches, we are all getting together, talking markets, sectors, commodities, currencies, setups, our overall read of the market, all of that fun stuff, and what we call our scouting report meeting. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend reports, our stock and option report, our commodities, Forex, and our Tackle newsletter. We'll get these delivered to the team by Saturday afternoon, so they have time to go through them before the market opens back up. We always want to start with the Tackle newsletter. Again, we are taking that top-down approach here at Tackle Trading, and that's exactly what we're doing in the newsletter. We're starting at the top of the markets. So we'll kind of give a quick, recap of, the week that was, right? What happened in the market this week? How did it impact the charts? What was the news moving it? All of that fun stuff. What does the economic calendar look like coming into the upcoming week? Of course, we'll have a video talking you through all of this. Where is the major are the major indexes technically, and how are we kind of seeing them as we're going into the upcoming week, whether it's the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the big indexes. You'll also find the ETFs if you need them that track those indexes, right? DIA tracks the Dow Jones, QQQ tracks the NASDAQ, IWM tracks the Russell, and SPY tracks the S&P 500, in case you didn't know. We'll have our Arkham High Low indicator in here. That's just going to look at, how many stocks, it looks over 8,000 stocks, and how many of those stocks are putting in, new highs versus new lows to get a better view of the internals of the market. We're going to rank the sectors each week based off of what we're seeing on the stocks within those sectors We're basing it based off of the sector spider ETFs. Again, you can find them just below that gridiron there. If you're unfamiliar with the sector spiders, they are ETFs based off of the S&P 500. What they'll do is they'll go in and pull out just the stocks in a particular sector. For example, XLE is the energy sector ETF. Go to the S&P 500, pull out just the energy stocks and put them into a portfolio. It's going to be weighted much like the S&P 500 is, right? And definitely important to know. But that's kind of how those ETFs are built. And if you want more information on them, you can, go directly to the source. The ETF provider's website is just www.sectorspdr.com. And you can take a closer look at those different ETFs if you would like to do so. But that is how we're going to be basing our weekly rankings on the different sectors. Every week, based off what we're seeing on the stocks within those ETFs, we're going to be adjusting our sector rankings. We are going to break our sectors into 3 core areas. You're going to have our growth areas. That's going to be technology. That's going to be communications. That's going to be discretionary, right? So think tech, think Google, think Facebook in communications, Disney, semiconductors, software, and things like that over in tech. Discretionary things like McDonald's and Amazon and Home Depot, where we spend our money, right, in the discretionary. So these are more growth oriented sectors represented in this blue color here. Then we're going to have our cyclical areas. Those were the areas of the market that caught the biggest upgrades for us this week as we were going through our process. That's going to be our financial sector, our industrial sector, our energy sector, and our basic material sector. Then lastly, our defensive areas of the market. That's going to be healthcare, consumer staples, real estate, and utilities. That's going to be represented in this little purpley plum type of color that you are seeing here. We are going to rank them every week based off of what we're seeing. So if the charts are looking stronger as a whole, we're probably going to give it an upgrade. Right? If not a lot has changed, probably won't change it at all, and so on and so forth. We're going to put it on a football field here. Right. So between the 40s is going to be a more neutral rating on that sector. Between the 40 and the 20 is going to be slightly bullish or slightly bearish. And then 20 to the goal line is going to be either bullish or bearish. It is going to be exceptionally rare that you see us put an entire sector into plus or minus 3 territory. You never say never, but it's not really who we are. It certainly isn't who I am. I know I've never done it. Do that regularly with a stock. Oh, this thing is terrible. This thing's awesome, right? But it's really hard to do that on an entire sector. It's going to be very, very rare, if ever, that you see us put an entire market or sector that aggressively ranked. Just kind of an FYI on that end. Of course, we can kind of talk you through the thought process and what we're seeing over in that video as well. A recent addition to our Tackle newsletter is our rapid fire. It's been a lot of fun these last couple of weeks. At the end of our meeting, we just kind of do a rapid fire based on some of the things that we were looking at going into our meeting, and just kind of share our favorite trade ideas coming into the upcoming week. Just a really fun addition for sure. Another friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? It's sometimes we can, we're people. Sometimes we can get so hung up on, I want to sell a credit spread, or I want to buy a put, or whatever it is, that we need that friendly reminder, right? Nothing wrong with that. There's a pre-built scanner in here. So if a particular area has caught your attention, if you say, you know what, I am kind of interested in the strength that we've seen in energy, want to do a quick view of some energy stocks. We'll go into the energy sector here. This will bring us back to FinViz. You'll just hit your charts button right here. And this will just bring us up a list of what I call trader-friendly stocks. And what I mean when I say that is they have great liquidity, so it's very easy to trade shares of the stock, either bullish or bearish. They also are optionable. Just because a stock is optional does not mean that the options are great. We will, of course, want to check that option chain, make sure that we're comfortable with that liquidity. I would say as a whole that these are fairly comfortable to trade with options, but there are certainly some in there that I at least would never trade through options. I would go directly to the equity. But at the end of the day, when I say trader friendly, I simply mean that whether it's through stock or options, if there's something I'm going to be able to find a way to trade anything on this page, whether through equities or through options. And it's just going to give us some side-by-side charts so we can kind of scroll through, right? We're a little bit overextended, at least in the short term, maybe on the energy sector. And that's kind of being reflected. A lot of these things have had some big movement, but maybe something has caught your eye. Maybe you like this potential breakout in OVV, right? Or maybe you like DVN, but maybe want to add it to the watch list to put it in, to follow it for a potential retracement opportunity, right? Just an easy way to quickly look at a bunch of charts. Obviously, I don't imagine we can ever build a trade off of these little things. I wouldn't want to try, but I can kind of see if it caught my attention and go look at it in my actual trading platform, take a closer look. So we'll have that for all of the different sectors in here as well. You will also find just the final thoughts. Usually Coach Gino does this for us, a great dude and a great trader. Just some final thoughts for the day going into the upcoming week. So that's going to be the Tackle newsletter. And I always encourage folks to start there because everything is a lot smoother when you're trading with the flow, right? It's, almost any energy stock that we had today probably had good performance. Some definitely outperformed others. And I'm sure there were a few energy stocks that just found a way to lose money today. But for the most part, energy was really strong today, right? And by going with that flow, it probably made my life a little bit easier, right? And the more we can do that, I think the better we're going to be as traders. At least that's a strong opinion that I have that I think we share here at Tackle Trading. Talking a little bit more about commodities and Forex as each week as well. Our stock and option report are going to be built very similar to one another. Of course, they're going to be more focused from a trading point of view on what their names would suggest, right? But one of the things that we're doing in our scanning report meeting is we're walking through a bunch of trade setups and we're talking through them. We're arguing, we're agreeing, we're, making fun of each other a little bit sometimes, who knows? We're going through a lot of stock charts every single week in our scan report meeting because we want to make sure that we're finding good quality trade setups for the upcoming week. In the stock report, these are going to be stocks that maybe don't have great option liquidity, plenty of liquidity on the shares themselves, easy to borrow, all of that fun stuff, but just maybe the option liquidity is not great, or maybe it's a lower price stock that it's easier just to go play the shares, right? Or maybe it's the way the stock moves, right? There could be different reasons it'd be in the stock report. In the options report, of course, we're coming at these things with option strategies in mind. It doesn't mean that you couldn't trade, a candidate from the option report with stock. You absolutely could, if that's the route that you want to go. But we are thinking, maybe this would be a good opportunity for a long call or a bull call or for a bear put or for a bear call or whatever the case might be in the actual report itself. So the way we're putting together these watch lists each week is going to be similar because at the end of the day, as mean as it sounds, nobody but you cares how you're going to trade the equity, right? I care a lot if I'm going to do a bull call spread, but I'm the only one who cares about that, right? Because of course, but the way we're going to be building the watch list is going to be the same in both of them. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Now, in the video, in the write-up, we're going to be, in the option report, we're going to be talking a little bit more about strategy selection and so forth. In the stock report, we're going to talk a little bit more about more routine stuff, about management techniques, all of that fun stuff. So there definitely will be very noticeable difference in kind of the videos and things like that because of the way we're going to convey our information. But as far as the watch list, going to be built the same way either way. We want to make sure that our team has both some high quality bullish and bearish trade candidates. Again, these are based off of the technicals, mostly from a swing trading point of view. Can talk through some ideas with the team over in the video. As you can kind of see here, a little bit of a breakout on Alaska Air, a little bit of a retracement on A-Lid, right? A breakout on Boyd Gaming, continuation on Ford, etc. So we make sure that will be technically clean setups going into the week, both bullish and bearish. Couple of things. These are the trading view charts that we have built into Tackle Trading. If you kind of go through and say, okay, well, as I'm going through this, I kind of like this on, right? Just really strong, broke out, quick run from 46 to 50, pull back, back, just below $50. Maybe you like this for a breakout. Maybe you don't. That's okay too, right? When it comes down to watch lists, it's about what you do like and not what you don't like. You don't have to trade any of these, right? You don't have to trade all of them. You can take your favorite setups or, favorite areas of the market, whatever the case might be, and, wish the rest of the world the best on the rest of them, right? Uh, but a couple things about these charts. If you hit this widget button right here, that'll just give you some more chart to work with to hide that watch list. Smack it again, left click, it'll bring it back. You can zoom in and out with your mouse wheel here. That's kind of how I'm doing that right there. You can, if you hold your left mouse button down over in the dollars, you can zoom, scrunch up or scrunch down, right? You can hold your left mouse button in the body of the chart and you can wiggle it back and forth like this. So you can get these charts kind of set up the way that you would like to do so you can see them, clearly, I guess. Your trend line tool is this one right here. So on something like for example, this is a breakout candidate, right? Got a clear overhead level of resistance. But if it was applicable, and sometimes it certainly will be, we've got we can draw the actual trend line as well. So your trend line tool will be right here. The default setting is to a day because these are going to be primarily based off of swing trading setups. But if I need to change the time frame, if I want to take a longer look, hey, that might be the first time I've ever looked it on. Is there any history I need to be aware of? Nope, does not look like that's the case, right? Maybe I want to go intraday to see if there's exactly where I'd like my entry, or maybe for some stop loss ideas. So this little drop down will allow you to change your time frame. If you are one of those folks that prefer bar charts to candlesticks, I know that you're still out there. There's not a lot of them, I don't think, anymore, but if that's you, you can easily change that here as well. If you want to add an indicator or two, just smack that indicator button and I can add my average true range, for example. That's usually what I do. It's going to make it pretty big. If you don't need it that size, just hover your mouse over the wall between volume and the indicator and hold the left mouse button down, and you can drag it up or drag it down as you see fit. Be aware that this is not going to save. So any indicators I add, any lines that I've drawn, when I leave this page and come back, they will be gone. Not a huge deal, but if you add 6 or 7 indicators, do be aware that you are going to have to re-add them when you come back to the page. It just does not save. You're also going to find right here, this is probably my favorite tool in TradingView. This is where we can prep out our trade, so long or short positions. And of course, this is just an example. But let's say we are interested in this on breakout, but we want to see it. Let's say we want to see it break $50. We'll call it 50.05 because that's where my line landed, right? Now I want to zoom. I want to get a little bit of room to work with. Maybe we have a target price in mind of $55 on semiconductor, or approximately $55 on semiconductor. And maybe, at least initially, we kind of like the idea of putting our stop loss below this recent low point here that happened last week on that gap down. That's going to let me know what my risk to reward. For every dollar I'm risking, I have $1.48 in potential profits. Like most swing traders, I have the rule that it needs to be at least a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio to make the trade. If 55 is my target, my entry is 50.05, I think I said on it, I know that that's going to invalidate my rules. Maybe that's the end of the trade, or maybe I say, what, one thing I could look to do is maybe use today's low or this little trend line that I drew here, right? It's not perfect, but it is something. Maybe I'd like to get my stop loss there and get that down here at 40, looks like it's about $48. Now my risk reward is, for every dollar I'm risking, $2.70 in potential return. So it's just saving me a lot of time on the math side of things, right? It's also helping me visualize where the trade will be. Okay, if I got into this, is that enough room on the stop loss? Is that too crazy of a target based on the stock's history? Again, we'll talk about some ideas for these setups in our videos, but that's kind of how you can use these, some of the tools here in TradingView. There's a lot more in TradingView for sure, but those are some of the big ones. And while I don't expect that you're going to change the way you're doing your charting, I do think probably the first time at least you go through the stock report, the ops report, the newsletter, whatever it might be, you probably will be going through these, at least once. So a couple ideas of how to use them can be helpful. Just a great tip. We are watch list traders here at Tackle Trading. And so at the end of the day, maybe it's not the whole list. Maybe you already picked your favorites out, but at the end of the day, just come in and say, hey, did I didn't have a trade set up on a light here. Did anything change? Is it time to get a trade set up? Did it blow up the chart? Because it will. I mean, you'll see it all, right? You'll see setups that trigger on Monday morning, like Boyd, right out of the gates, got running, right out of the gates. ALIT, I don't think for most, but maybe the most absolutely aggressive of traders, it did not trigger folks in here today. HZNP, another breakout candidate, didn't come close, right? So you'll see it all. You'll see things that trigger early in the week, things that trigger late, things that get blown up, right? Last Monday with the gap down, a lot of the patterns, especially the retracement type of patterns, had to be adjusted, right? They were different, all of a sudden different candidates. But a really good thing to do at the end of the day is just kind of roll through. Is there something here that are you still interested in a light, right? If you need it to close above 12, well, didn't do it today, but maybe tomorrow, right? Alaska, right? Well, maybe you're looking for a pullback to the breakout channel, right? That candle doesn't scream tomorrow morning's the day to buy, to me at least. But maybe it's a doji tomorrow, and that probably would be something that was really interesting to me, right? You got to know yourself as a trader. Just kind of work through and see if there's a trade, a setup that you're interested in. If there is, we can quickly go in and see if there is something that we'd like to work with. And if not, no big deal. Manage your watch list. I guess that's a roundabout way for me to say that. Just because it's not ready on Monday doesn't mean it's not going to be ready, right? And as traders, I think as a whole, a lot of us have had problems with managing our watch lists. And, hey, it's great if we find it tomorrow, it triggers. We're pretty good at that, right? But sometimes they take a while, right? Sometimes these breakouts can take a long time to break through that resistance level. If and so manage your watch list, I guess, and that can be a little easy way and easy tip to do so. So again, with the reports, you can expect them on Saturday, by Saturday, a better way to put it, by Saturday afternoon, so you can get through any or all of them before the market kicks back up. A couple of other things as we get ready to wrap up here. Our Clubhouse is kind of like our own personal social media page. Not page. It's just a place where members of Team Tackle can bounce ideas around with one another, share what's going on, ask questions, stuff like that. Just traders, just talking trading. You're always welcome to join us over in the Clubhouse. I certainly invite you to join us over there. We're also active on all of the more traditional social media platforms. Got a presence over on Instagram and LinkedIn, here on our YouTube channel. In addition to our live content that we do each week, we also have a lot of content, how-tos, walkthroughs, thinkorswim tutorials, all of that fun stuff. So we've got a lot of content on YouTube, and we're always looking to add more. So certainly invite you to hit the subscribe and the notification if you are a fan of our YouTube page. We have a Facebook, as well as a Facebook group. I'm not a Facebook user, but there is a Team Tackle Facebook group. So if you're a Facebook user, I certainly invite you to join the fine folks in the Team Tackle group. I'm more of a Twitter guy myself. Be a great way to share interesting charts, what's going on here at Tackle, top gainers, all sorts of fun stuff. So I certainly invite you to join me and the rest of Team Tackle who does use Twitter over at the Tackle Trading Twitter. You can also find me at right there, Frank Martin 23, if you're ever looking for me. Never hesitate to send us an email if you can't find something, if you're not sure where to go next or need anything. That's what we're here for. Never hesitate to reach out. There's a lot of ways to do it. Feel free to send us an email, team at Tackle Trading. Hit me up on Twitter, ask in the Clubhouse, get in the lounge and ask questions. If you need some help, there's no shame in it. We all do sometimes. Never hesitate to ask for it. We're all on the same side here. We all want to see each other succeed in the market, right? And so don't ever feel like your question isn't important to all of the team. I think I speak for all of us, coaches and all of our awesome team members as well. We do have a daily email. We call it the Tackle Today email. If we smack Tackle Today, you can sign up for that right in here. Very easy and to the point. We also do post it here kind of in blog format each day. It will get to your inbox faster, but if for whatever reason you prefer just to read it directly at Tackle Trading, that is an option as well. Just a quick little morning email to kind of talk a little trading with the team. So let's see, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap us up for tonight. If you are a new member of Team Tackle, I certainly welcome you. I'm excited to have you on the team, and I look forward to getting to know you more and more as the days turn into weeks and months. If you're not a member of Team Tackle just yet, we do have a standing offer of a 15-day free trial. You can come see what we're doing on the back end, see if it's a good fit. That'll be in the description of any of our YouTube videos. You can also find that over in the store tab as well. Come and join us. Come see what we're all about. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure, and I hope that this gave you a better idea of what we're doing at Tackle Trading, when we're doing it, our approach, what you can expect from us. It has been a pleasure talking to you tonight. Those of you who catch the recording later, appreciate you as well. And look forward to seeing you all again. I'll see you around. This won't be goodbye. This will just be good night. Have a wonderful rest of the week, both in and out of the market. And I'll look